everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I did get an order in for some baby chicks that are up on my Etsy this morning, and it gave me an idea for a video. Like I said, I was gonna start doing some tutorial lessons on crocheting. So it gave me an idea on how to help people work in the rounds, and considering when you're making amigurumi, we pretty much always work in the round, and it can be kind of hard, especially if you're first starting out. So I am going to do both acrylic yarn and plush yarn in the baby chick colors today. The plush yarn is usually what I make my baby chicks out of, and the acrylic yarn is basically just to show the difference between, you know, tension, how they work up, and everything that you need. A lot of amigurumi is made with 4-weight yarn. A lot of the bigger amigurumi plushies are made with the blanket yarn. My acrylic yarn doesn't have the tag on it anymore, but I do believe that it is Big Twist from Joann's. And the plush yarn is Burnett Blanket. Burnett Blanket Brights, and it is a super bulky number 6. And it recommends using an 8mm hook, but with most of my plushies, I use a number 5 hook. Sometimes I'll go bigger on the hook, depending upon how big I want my plushie. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the acrylic yarn. And we're going to start off doing the magic ring, which is pretty common with amigurumi plushies. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold your yarn between your middle finger and pointer finger with your thumb finger, and we're just going to wrap it around once in one direction, and then we're going to come through and we're going to wrap it around again, but we're going to want to make a cross out of it. And here is where I am going to want to hold my working yarn down with my ring finger, and I have a nice little X. So I'm going to go to one side of my X, and I'm going to go under with my hook, and I'm going to grab that top piece of yarn and go under the other piece. I'm going to bring it up and kind of twist it, and now we have a loop, but we need to secure that loop. So we're going to go ahead and just chain 1. And that secures that loop. And now we are going to start off with 6 single crochets inside that loop. So 1, 2, 3, and 6 is usually the most common number that we're going to start off with anything with amigurumi. Sorry, sometimes it's hard for me to pronounce that. Sometimes if like you want like a point or something instead of like a flush circle, you would start off with fewer amounts, but just for the tutorial's purpose, we're going to start off with 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that we have our 6 single crochets inside that ring, we're going to go ahead and pull on our tail, which is just going to tighten up that ring. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start increasing to make our circle bigger without it curling in on us or anything like that. It's something like I said in one of my videos prior to this. Yeah, I'm teaching my stepdaughter how to crochet as well, and she wanted to try and make a circle, and it was giving her some difficulties. So hopefully she's going to watch this and get the circle down. And so what we're going to do is we're going to increase in every stitch around, which means we're going to put 2 single crochets. I already put 1. Now I'm going to put another. And we're going to put 2 single crochets in every stitch that we made from the previous round. It's just going to give us a total of 12. So right now I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so that would be our second round of increases. Well, not our second round of increases, but our second round for this circle and our first round of increases. Past this point, unless you're really, really good at counting, which sometimes I'm not, let's all admit it, you're going to want to put a stitch marker at either the first single crochet of a round or the last single crochet of a round. It doesn't really matter as long as you know where your rounds end and begin. So to keep making a circle but not having it fold up on you, what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then an increase in the second stitch. 1, 2, and then we're going to go ahead and repeat that 1 single crochet in the next stitch and an increase of 2 single crochets in the next stitch. 1 in the next stitch and 2 making an increase in the next stitch. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to continue doing that all the way around. And you should have 16 by the end of the round. Increase 1, and then in this last stitch, another increase. And instead of putting my stitch marker in the last stitch of that round, I'm going to move it over to the first stitch of the next round, just so I don't have to stop. So to make it even wider, you're going to do basically the same thing, only instead of 1 stitch with a single crochet, you're going to do 2 stitches with a single crochet. So 1, 2 stitches with a single crochet, and then an increase. 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches, 2, and then an increase. 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then an increase. An increase always means 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. My yarn has a knot. Give me just 1 second while I work this out. And it's a doozy of a knot at that. It's yarn barf. There we go. Okay. And so we did 2 as an increase. Now we need 2 in the next 2. Increase. 1, 2. Increase. 2. Increase. And that's what our circle is looking like. And as you can tell, it's not bowing up or anything like that. And if you want to keep making your circle bigger, basically what you're going to do is you're just going to add 1 more stitch to your single crochets. So the last round we did was 2. So then this round that we're going to work on is going to be 3. And so 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, followed by an increase. And that's how we make our circles bigger. And then once you get to the point where you have a big enough circle and you do want it to start curling, all you're going to do is stop increasing. Increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3. Increase. 1, 2, 3, and almost missed the stitch. So let's frog that around. It happens. So 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, and there's where I messed up. Increase. 3. There we go. And our last stitch is going to be an increase. Okay. So we did 3 rounds of increases. If you did want to make your circle bigger, you just go ahead and continue on with that kind of pattern. Instead of 3 increases, we would bump it up to 4, and then so on and so on for however big you want your circle. But if you're happy with the size of your circle and you want it to start flipping down, you just do a single crochet in every stitch around. And then it will start curling down, and that's how you end up making like amigurumi heads, arms, legs. It's just a matter of how many increases you do, how many stitches you start off with. And then you start working down. And as you can tell, as I'm working this, I'm keeping my tension rather tight because I am working with an acrylic 4-weight yarn. And so to avoid a whole bunch of gapping, I mean, if I was actually making a amigurumi out of this, I would probably be using a size 4 hook instead of a 5, just to make those holes a little bit smaller. And so definitely, if you're going to work with acrylic 4-weight yarn, do go down a hook size to about a 4. Maybe even smaller, depending upon how small you want your little amigurumi. But like I said, I'm going to be working on a plushie here in a few minutes. And I just wanted to hop on and show you guys how to do circles, because I have noticed online some people that I'm friends with on like TikTok and stuff like that are having trouble, and they'll make something out of acrylic 4-weight yarn, and then that's all that they've used, and then they'll go to try making something out of a plushie or a plush yarn, a blanket yarn, and it just doesn't come out looking right. And so we did one single crochet all the way around on that round, and as you can see, it is starting to fold down. And you just keep going with that however long that you want it to go to make a circle or an oval or whatever it is that you wanted to do with your circle. Now, with the plush yarn, we're going to do the same thing. And with the plush yarn, you're going to see not as many gaps because, well, it is a bulky number 6 yarn. We're going to start off the same way. We're going to do our magic circle. I'm going to cross that over into an X. And bring the hook under the first one. Pull the top one through. Give it a twist. Secure it with a single crochet. And then we're going to work our 6 single crochets into the loop. And with plush yarn, you want to make sure not only is your tension more relaxed, but these 2 loops, you want to make sure that they're pretty even, or else then we get really tight stitches. So I have 3, and it's really hard to see stitches in plush yarn. But 1, 2, 3. I'm going to keep that tension nice and loose. Bring the loop up evenly with it being straight. Yarn over and pull through. 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to go ahead and pull that tail. And with plush yarn, I do like to use my stitch marker the first time around, because like I said, it's hard to see that stitch. And we're going to repeat the same thing that we did with the acrylic yarn. We're going to do 2 single crochets in every stitch around. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and then right here is our last stitch. 11 and 12. And so there we have our first round of increases with the plush yarn, and it's not pointy or anything like that. It is pretty flush. And so I am happy with that. I'm not going to redo that round. And sometimes I do have to redo the round. and think to myself, okay, let's loosen up our tension and bring those loops up so they're nice and loose. And then we're going to continue with the 1 single crochet, increase, 1 single crochet, increase. Increase. It's getting away from me. One single crochet. Increase. One single crochet. Increase. One single crochet. Increase. One single crochet and then an increase. And there we have our second round of increases. And just like with our acrylic yarn, we're just going to continue that until we get as big as we want it. And so the next round would be 3 single crochets, an increase, and the round after that would be 4 single crochets, an increase. Round after that, 5 single crochets, an increase, and then so on and so on until you get a circle as big as you'd like. And then once it's as big as you'd like, you go 1 single crochet in every stitch around to start making it curve under and start forming a circle or an oval or whatever you'd like. But that is how you make circles in crochet, and specifically in amigurumi, because a lot of amigurumi work is made in the rounds. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, please do feel free to comment below and ask, and I'd be more than happy to help out in any way that I can. Yeah, so I hope that helps, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I am going to go finish making homemade bread with my kids. I just wanted to hop on real fast and show you guys how to make circles before I start baking some bread. So go ahead and please do comment, like, subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.